In March 2014, two young Dutch women, Kris Kremers, 21, and Lisanne Froon, 22, traveled to Panama for what was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime. Both were intelligent, adventurous, and full of energy. Kris studied cultural social education, while Lisanne had recently graduated with a degree in applied psychology. They arrived in Boquete, a charming mountain town known for its coffee plantations and stunning hiking trails. Their plan was simple: explore the beautiful landscapes of Central America, learn Spanish, volunteer with local children, and create unforgettable memories. But instead of returning home with stories and photographs, Kris and Lisanne vanished into the jungle, leaving behind a trail of cryptic clues that continues to baffle investigators and horrify true crime enthusiasts worldwide. On April 1, 2014, Kris and Lisanne set out on a popular hiking route known as the Pianista Trail. It was a sunny day, and the trail was well marked. Locals recall seeing the women cheerful and relaxed, walking with their small backpacks, wearing light clothing, and accompanied by Kris's red-haired dog, Azul. The trail leads to a scenic overlook where most tourists turn back. But evidence suggests the women kept going, crossing into rough, dangerous jungle terrain beyond the safety of the path. That was the last time anyone saw them alive. When the women failed to show up for scheduled activities, alarm bells rang. By April 2nd, locals noticed Azul, the dog, had returned home without them. Soon, search parties were organized. Helicopters flew over the jungle. Volunteers combed through trails. But the dense rainforest swallowed all traces of the missing women. Days turned into weeks. The search seemed hopeless, until 10 weeks later, a discovery was made. On June 14th, a local woman found a blue backpack lying on the bank of a river. Inside were the women's belongings, almost perfectly dried despite the heavy rains. 2 pairs of sunglasses, $83 in cash, Lisanne's passport, a water bottle, a camera, both of their phones. It was a chilling find. Even stranger were the details hidden inside the electronics. The iPhones revealed a desperate timeline. On the very evening of April 1st, the day of the hike, both women tried to call emergency services. Calls were made to 112, European emergency number, and 911, Panama, but due to poor reception, none went through. Over the next several days, dozens of attempts were made to call for help, but each failed. By April 5th, Lisanne's phone battery had died. Kris's iPhone kept trying until April 11th, but something disturbing happened. On April 6th, the correct PIN was no longer entered. Multiple failed attempts were made to unlock the phone, suggesting that Kris was no longer the one holding it. Even more haunting were the photographs. Investigators recovered over 90 images from Lisanne's Canon camera. The early photos from April 1st showed the women happy and smiling, posing at the trail overlook. Then, on April 8th, a full week after they had gone missing, a series of bizarre nighttime photographs appeared. There were over 90 pictures taken in the darkness between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. They showed nothing but eerie fragments: the jungle floor, branches and rocks, a strange image of what looked like a makeshift marker made from sticks and plastic, the back of Lisanne's head with blood visible near her temple, a suspicious shot of what some believed to be Kris's remains partially covered. Why would someone take so many pictures in the dead of night? Were they trying to signal rescuers or document something far more sinister? 2 months after the backpack was found, searchers discovered bone fragments and clothing scattered along the riverbank.
A boot containing a severed human foot was identified as Lisanne's. Part of her pelvic bone was also found. Kris's remains were even stranger. Her bones appeared unnaturally clean, as if bleached, with no flesh left. Experts could not explain how decomposition had occurred so rapidly, or why the bones of the two women showed such different conditions despite being found in the same area. The case has spawned countless theories, each one more disturbing than the last. 1. Accidental fall. Some believe the women became lost and fell into the river and died of injuries and starvation. But this fails to explain the organized belongings, the nighttime photographs, and the strange condition of the bones. 2. Murder or foul play. Others suspect they encountered someone dangerous, perhaps a local guide, criminal, or even members of a cartel. The failed PIN entries on Kris's phone suggest someone else was handling it. The backpack's dry condition raises suspicions that it was placed there deliberately. 3. Ritual or cult activity. Panama's jungles have long been associated with dark folklore and reports of strange rituals. Some locals whisper that the women may have stumbled upon something they were never meant to see. 4. Paranormal explanations. While less scientific, some point to the eerie photographs, the missing time, and the unnatural bone bleaching as evidence of forces beyond human comprehension. The disappearance of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon remains an open wound. Their families still seek answers, but official reports left more questions than solutions. Why were their belongings dry and neatly packed? Who tried and failed to unlock Kris's phone? Why did the camera contain 90 eerie nighttime photographs? What force left one woman's bones clean and bleached while the others still showed flesh? The Panamanian jungle holds many secrets, but few are as chilling as this one. Kris and Lisanne set out on a hike full of dreams, laughter, and youth. Somewhere along the way, those dreams ended in unimaginable terror. Whether they fell victim to the unforgiving wilderness, to a human predator, or to something far more sinister, we may never know. What remains are the fragments, desperate calls for help that never connected, photographs taken in the darkness, and bones that whisper of horror but reveal no truth. This is not just a mystery. It is a nightmare that lives on in every unanswered question, in every shadow of the rainforest. The story of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon is a reminder. Sometimes, the scariest monsters are not ghosts or demons, but the unknown itself.